Hey folks! Morning folks, we're airing down, getting ready to head into Owen Springs Reserve. Gonna go check it out. We're gonna head in here and have a look around. Some pretty cool tracks and some awesome scenery, so let's get into it. One important thing to note is dogs aren't allowed in the northern part of the reserve, but you can have them south of the Waterhouse range. Bloody hell, eh? Rightio guys, one thing to remember if you are going to come in here from interstate is you need to head online to the Anti-Parks website and book a park pass. If you're from the territory, you don't need to worry about that. Please take the time to write in the enclosed visitor book. Your comments are valued and may be used for future planning purposes. Hey, look, a lizard. Little gecko. Is that your home? Is that where you live, mate? Rightio. What's the date today?
30th.
So on the 28th we had Dazza and Wendy from Tassie. 2 nights camping. So it's the 30th.
Yeah.
Rightio. Depends a bit how you're going. So the Owen Springs Reserve is about 1,500 square kilometres in size, and the main four-wheel drive track is about 50 kilometres long, which sort of follows the Hugh River through the Lawrence Gorge and onto the Waterhouse Range. So as you can see here, the Waterhouse Range is around here. And anywhere north of here, you can't have dogs, but anywhere south, you can bring your dog. So, you know, you can bring your dog. You can come down here and camp. There's Redbank waterhole down here, so it's a really beautiful spot to visit. But just keep that in mind about your dogs if you are trying to bring them through here. So some points of interest: you got old Owen Springs Homestead up here, the old ruins. Lawrence Gorge, not far from there, and then Redbank waterhole down south here. All worth having a look at. So this is where the old Aboriginal Stockman's quarters was, on the Hugh River here. So the buildings here were used by the Aboriginal stockmen and their families back in the day. These pictures date back to 1973. Today there's only one living hut, a shower, laundry room and a pit toilet remaining. So here is your toilet. So excuse me while I drop a number 2. Overcast. It's been you know, it is winter time, but it's sort of warmed up over the last week or so. But yeah, today it's overcast and there was a little bit of rain hanging around this morning. So here we are at the old Owen Springs Bronco branding yard. So basically what they would do here, they'd have a yard full of cattle and a bloke on a horse would rope a beast or lasso a beast, and he would bring it over to this panel here, and he'd have his horse, say, on this side of the panel and the beast on that side of the panel, and he would bring his horse this way with the rope sliding up that angled panel that you can see there until the rope got to the middle, and then the rope would drop down in between those two panels with the beast on the other side roped, and then the other fellas on the other side can drop the beast to the ground. Someone holds the back legs, someone might hold the neck or the shoulders, and then the other fella can brand the beast. And then that way, obviously the brand is a way of identifying the cattle. So the main access track through Owen Springs Reserve closely follows John McDouall Stewart's route through the McDonnell Ranges. His explorations between 1860 and 1862 opened Central Australia to white settlement. One of the immediate results from his explorations was the construction of the overland telegraph line. The old Owen Springs Homestead that you see just down here is actually a registered heritage site. So she's very old and fragile. So if you do come here, just take care. Don't go behind the fence, and, you know, try not to touch anything because you want to keep it in the state that it's in. So the original homestead that William Gilbert established was actually in 1873, one of the first in Central Australia. And the original homestead buildings were constructed of timber and had a thatched roof. These stone buildings were constructed later on. They don't really know when, but it was probably soon after Thomas Elder purchased the place in 1886. And these were used till about 1950 or the 1950s, when a new homestead was built further upstream, which is actually back here, which we got some footage of when we drove past, which is now the ranger station. Here we are at the old ruins of the blacksmith shop, built somewhere in the late 1880s, and the fella that worked in here was essential, you know, on a pastoral station back then. And he would have been responsible for making and repairing horseshoes, branding irons, gates, chains, all that sort of stuff. So we're driving the riverbed right now, and check out that debris up there. That's how high she got. I think it was last year we had huge rains, so all the creeks ran over full. That is a hell of a lot of water. Little bit of cheeky flex. Look at that tucked up in there. Right, well, this is us. We're going to pull up here and have some lunch. Not a bad spot if you ask me. Ham salad roll for lunch and a bit of this kombucha. This stuff is delicious. I love it. Well, I don't know what's going on there, but it doesn't look too good. Anyway, that's the end of that trip. Owen Springs Reserve done and dusted. It's a great spot. You can easily do it in a day. You also can camp out here at Redbank waterhole. It's a cracking spot. You don't really need a modified four-wheel drive to get in here. A bit of a lift would help, but there is some sandy sections where you definitely use four-wheel drive. Anyway, thanks very much for watching.